On behalf of Bob and Ray's campaign for a transistor radio in every home, this is award-winning reporter Wally Ballou at Professor Matthew E. Pulsiver's Computer Center. And what are you working on, Professor?
We've received some amazing figures from a group of radio people, and they'd like us to illustrate the figures with colorful comparisons so that the figures might be more easily understood.
Well, what are the figures?
There were 31 million new radios sold last year, bringing the total in the United States to 242 million, or 25% more radios in this country than people.
Amazing.
It certainly is. Oh, here come the comparisons. If all the radios in America were loaded into freight cars, it would make a train long enough to stretch from Chicopee, Massachusetts to Berwyn, Illinois.
Here's another one. If all the radios were put in one place and turned on at the same time, they'd make a noise loud enough to be heard in Lima, Peru.
Now listen to this one. If all the radios of the United States were dumped into the Grand Canyon, it would fill it halfway up and make quite a mess, too.
Professor, what does it all mean?
Darned if I know.
And now, for those of you who turned the record over and are still with us, we'd like to talk about insurance. Wait a minute, come back. Won't be that bad. Oh, he's gone.
Well, Wally, that's the very feeling that our clients, Nationwide Insurance, wanted to dispel. And their agency, Ogilvy Mather, recommended a humorous attack.
Together, we condensed the copy points to their most important minimum. We stressed the slogan, "The man from Nationwide is on your side," and emphasized the convenience of buying all kinds of insurance from this one man.
Individual commercials mention both these points, then specifically single out one type of insurance, life, health, home, or car, as the focal point of the spot.
We put this into the framework of a one-minute pseudo-documentary format entitled The Insured.
Nationwide Insurance presents The Insured, dramatizations based on the files of Nationwide agents. In today's story, an agent talks to a prospective policyholder.
You certainly have a large family.
That's why I wanted to talk to you about Nationwide's adjustable life plan. What is it?
Well, it's the most flexible life insurance plan you can buy. You can add protection to it or subtract from it as your needs change. What's your occupation?
Mornings, I test mushrooms at the supermarket. Afternoons, I repair high-tension power lines. I moonlight as target in a hatchet-throwing act.
I see.
And weekends, I indulge in my favorite hobbies, skydiving and alligator wrestling.
Interesting.
And I haven't been well.
Yes, well,
I'm just putting you on. I'm a piano tuner.
Besides life insurance, the man from Nationwide sells health, home, and car insurance. For all your needs, remember, the man from Nationwide is on your side.
That was a 52-second spot allowing for a local tag. And this year, for network radio, you did some 30-second commercials, didn't you? Yes, Wally, we did. Here's how we adapted the basic idea to the shorter format.
Nationwide Insurance presents another one of The Insured. Here to tell you why the man from Nationwide is on your side is Dr. B.R., dentist.
Open wide. Nationwide gives safe drivers a real break. Feel that? You see, by selecting safe drivers, Nationwide can offer low rates. Drivers pay only what they deserve to pay. Sensitive, huh? I pay less for my second car, too, with Nationwide. All right, now rinse out.
Thank you, B.R., dentist, for showing us how the man from Nationwide is on your side.
And about the acceptance of this campaign, Barney Vavrock, the national advertising manager for Nationwide, says,
"We're strong on radio in general, and on Bob and Ray in particular. They've been working for us for some time now, and our agents think they're terrific. That's tremendously important in the insurance business. If your agents like the advertising, they're more enthusiastic about selling. That's why we're glad we hired Bob and Ray."
Thank you, Barney. Incidentally, I guess we've all had trouble creating short commercials, 20-second spots, and even 10-second IDs. Trying to include a copy point and some humor into the abbreviated time isn't easy.
Here are a couple of IDs we did, of all people, the Underwood Devil.
now a paid Devil announcement, Mr. Devil.
Thank you.
You're
Underwood...
speaking into your pitchfork. Face the microphone.
Underwood deviled ham makes a sandwich. It has a snappy flavor.
Time's up, Devil.
Cheapskate.
Hi.
Hello, young man. I'm the devil.
Hi, Devil. What's up?
Tell Mommy to make your school lunch sandwiches with hearty Underwood deviled ham.
I tied a knot in your tail.
We think the most effective combination of successful sell and humor in a commercial is when the copy points are kept to the barest minimum, relying on the humor format or device to get and hold attention for the sell.
And here's how it worked for the interwoven people.
And now, Interwoven, the greatest name in socks, presents Honest Eddie's Sports Quiz.
Hi, fans. Get ready to call me when you have the answer. Maybe you'll win the big prize today. Here's the first clue. Our sports figure made a name in baseball. His brothers were named Dom and Vince.
DiMaggio, Joe DiMaggio.
Well, that's not the answer. This ball player was a pitcher. His nickname was the Old Left-Hander.
Lefty Grove.
No.
Lefty Gomez.
No, sir. He was a right-handed pitcher.
What? The old left-hander was right-handed?
Here's another clue. He was known as one half of the Deafness Boys. Now, while you think about the clues, here's a word for interwoven socks.
Are you missing important things your friends saw while you were bending over to pull up your socks? Then you should wear OTC by Interwoven, the over-the-calf stretch socks that stay smooth and stay up without garters. Many colors and styles. OTC.
Well, no winner again today, fans. The answer to our clues is Jerome Dizzy.
Dean, Jerome Dizzy Dean,
I'm
right?
sorry, you're wrong. It was Jerome Dizzy, who pitched for the Keene, New Hampshire Townies in the early 50s.
Oh, one of these days I'm gonna get you, Honest Eddie.
Interwoven, the greatest name in socks, presents Honest Eddie's Sports Quiz.
Hi, fans. Get set to call me when you have the answer. Maybe you'll win the big prize. Here's today's quiz. This figure made a mark in the sports world by hitting 61.
61 home runs in a season, Roger Maris.
Wrong. He made a mark in the sports world by hitting 61 batters in a doubleheader. We next see our mystery figure at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, with his brother Wilbur.
Orville Wright.
Wrong. Would put Orville Wright in a sports quiz. Clue number 3, something to think about during the commercial. We finally see this genius in Menlo Park. Announcer?
Now, eliminate bare leg gap, those inches of bare leg between your socks and trouser cuff forever, with OTC, over-the-calf socks by Interwoven. They stay smooth and stay up without garters.
The genius of Menlo Park was Thomas A. Edison, but this is a spirit.
Then you don't have the answer.
No, I don't.
Sorry, it was Thomas A. Edison.
He's a sports figure?
Of course he is. Without his invention, there'd be no night games.
One of these days I'm gonna get you, Honest Eddie.
In the spring of this year, and wasn't it beautiful, the Radio Advertising Bureau asked us to come up with the ultimate in something.
It was like a Gainsborough come to life, actually.
Commercials using radio to sell radio.
The main theme was a transistor radio in every home, with additional emphasis on the portability of radio and its emergency value, the latter point having been underlined by the power blackout of the previous fall. This is radio's controversial, frequently quoted award-winning reporter, Wally Ballou, in behalf of the campaign to get transistor radios in every home. I'm asking people to tell me how radio has helped them in an emergency. Are you, sir?
Well, you've got the right guy to ask about radios in an emergency situation.
How's that?
I'm disaster prone. I've stumbled upon almost every calamity in the last 50 years. Go ahead, name a disaster, any disaster.
Well, Hurricane Betsy.
I was right in the eye of that one.
Did a transistor radio help you there?
It told me what was happening every minute. I even heard myself being rescued on the radio.
How about the big blackout?
At the time, I was wearing a towel in a steam bath, listening to my transistor. It kept me calm and stopped me from running out in the street that way.
That would have been embarrassing. How about the San Francisco earthquake, the Chicago fire?
Well, I'm not that old, Ballou.
Oh, sorry.
However, I was hanging around Wall Street a lot when the stock market crashed in '29.
Did radio help you that time?
No, I was too busy crying to listen to it. Now, these were sent to radio stations throughout the country as a public service by RAB, which felt humor would get a bigger play on the stations, thus a wider distribution of their message.
This is multiple award-winning reporter Wally Ballou on the street in behalf of Bob and Ray's campaign for a transistor radio in every home. Everyone's familiar with radio's stellar performance in crises such as floods, hurricanes, blackouts, and blizzards. And we're going to ask people here on the street if radio ever helped them in such a situation. How about you, sir?
Well, every morning it helps me because it gets me up and to work on time because my boss does not tolerate lateness or tardiness.
I see. It would be a crisis if you were late.
You bet. I get up to nice music and the news. It
Good.
saves my life. My boss is very cranky and he's warned me about it, and
Okay.
that's why.
How about this lady over
I don't
here?
know what I'd do without radio. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Right.
Madam,
What?
has radio ever helped you in a crisis?
It surely has. Just a week ago Tuesday, it saved my life, I think.
How was that?
Well, I put it in a sock and hit a burglar on the head with it.
Here's a burglar type over here. You look like you're on the lam, sir.
What a head I've got.
This is Wally Ballou, and Bob and Ray, I'd like to ask you a question. For all the commercials you've made over the years since the founding of your firm, there must be some special favorites that stand out to you. Can you take us back through memory lane and early Peel Brothers ones?
Well, that was the very beginning of our wonderful firm.
This is Bert Peel.
And this is Harry Peel.
Peel's tastes best of all because it's driest of all. Remember that, viewers. Peel's...
Excuse me, Bert. Friends, my brother is so enthusiastic over our wonderful beer that, well, sometimes, without meaning to, he offends an occasional viewer.
Offends?
Well, I'm sorry, Bert. We've had some letters, and a lady in New Jersey said that you... I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No. I've tried to tell people how delicious our beer is, how it will bring happiness into their nice homes. Somehow I've offended. You tell them, Harry. They like you. You're personable. I'm offensive. Goodbye, consumers.
Well, I'm sorry he's so sensitive. I never should have... Bert!
Bullseye! Proof. Peel's aims for dryness, and we don't miss.
Well, as Bert, thank goodness, says, if you taste it and smack your lips, it's a product of Peel Brothers, Brooklyn, New York, most likely.
Unquestionably, Harry.
Well, now that we've heard Bert and Harry, how about some others?
We'd be delighted to play them.
My name is Warren P. Birchfield, friendly young druggist. I'd been out delivering Johnson's backblasters when my bicycle chain broke, and I was picked up by a gentleman driving a dynamite truck. Almost immediately, he turned to me saying...
Notice the grimace of pain etched on my rugged outdoor features?
Yes, all of the earmarks of a muscular backache.
Exactly.
Well, there's no need to tolerate that. This Johnson's backblaster treats a backache as simply as you would a headache.
Okay. Let's switch seats here, and I'll put it on.
All right, fine.
Let me slide over there.
Watch yourself.
Hey, this warm flannel backing is giving my muscles firm support.
Yes.
And soothing heat has begun already. Now I'll be able to continue my active outdoor driving life while enjoying blessed relief.
And continue it he did. Friends, next time muscular backache strikes you, why not say as others do, suffering quickly relieved, thanks to Johnson's Backplaster.
In our studio, there's a lovely little lady that you've heard us refer to many times. She lives in Lebanon, New Hampshire. She's visiting New York. And, of course, Fenley, you've sent us pies and cakes for a long time now. Have we been answering your requests all right?
Yes, you have.
The beer truck's been getting there on time every week, huh?
Wednesday like clockwork.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Miss Fenley, have you noticed that...
Have I noticed? You're going to talk to me now, I suppose, about tab opening aluminum tops on the beer cans?
That's right. You know who developed that? Alcoa. And boy, it makes
did.
it so easy to open one of those cans. You just...
Yes. I love to. I just open them one after the other. I've got opened 3 or 4 cases at a time, just out of the sheer fun of it.
Uh-huh. Well, that's a little bit wasteful, of course.
Well, I do drink the beer, too.
Oh, fine.
Yes.
Nice to have you here, and we've got to get back. Well, all right, that'll be enough.
Oh, I can't stop once I start.
Time now for another interview with a great American painter, brought to you by Glidden Paints. Hello, Bill Miles.
Huh? Oh, hi.
There's one house there. You going to paint that house, Bill?
No, I've painted this one back here.
Where? I don't see any house back there.
Well, that's proof that I've done my job well.
What do you mean?
Well, I've camouflaged it.
Camouflaged a house?
Yes, sir. Most unusual house painting job I've ever had. That's a Dutch colonial that you think's a forest.
Why would anybody commission you to camouflage?
A lot of money or something, and he doesn't want the bill collectors to find his house.
Have you used all 38 homogenized spread house paint colors?
But I just needed 37 to do the job.
Uh-huh.
It goes on easy, this homogenized spread house paint.
They tell me it lasts 50% longer, too.
That's right. They won't be able to find that house for years.
Did you have to use 37 different brushes, Bill?
No, that's the beauty part. Just rinse the brush between colors and just start in the new one.
Wonderful.
Say, do you have a few seconds?
Well, yes.
Help me find the front door so I can give the guy his bill, will you? This is your Cumulov Hollywood reporter with beloved star Lurch McBain. We're at Lurch's favorite Japanese restaurant, Clyde's.
That's right, Jimmy. I like to come here because you have to take your shoes off and sit on the floor.
What's so good about that?
Well, as you can feel, the restaurant's covered wall to wall with carpeting of luxurious Cumulov nylon pile. Feels neat on the feet.
Well, how can you tell it's Cumulov?
But Jimmy, Clyde's my friend and a friend of all my friends. And he left the big blue C tags on them. That tag identifies nylon carpeting made to mill and Chemstrand quality standards.
Carpeting you can trust. It certainly is soft. I could sit here for hours.
You may have to, Jimmy. Clyde's not too strong on service.
Well, what do you recommend we eat?
We'll start with the minestrone tempura and then try their wonderful sukiyaki sauerbraten. It's great.
Sounds delicious.
It's a gas. But I see time's a-wasting, and I promise to sing a little song. Up, 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 up. We've always felt that radio serves our particular needs to perfection in providing a setting where we can play to a listener's imagination.
Subconsciously, we seem to develop our situations with a picture in mind, often a ludicrous one. Here's a routine from our ancient archives that illustrates the point.
We have a little surprise planned for today. Are the two people all set in opposite studios, Ray? Mrs. Worley and her brother, Mr. Worley, whom they haven't seen. They haven't seen each other for 67 years. And we've flown Mrs. Worley here, and Mr. Worley lives right here in New York.
He took a bus to get here.
We have them in separate studios, and we think that they're going to really have a big surprise in store for them, thanks to us.
Why don't you talk to Mrs. Worley first?
All right. Well, would you bring in Mrs. Worley, please? Come on in, my dear.
Come on, step lively, lady, will you?
Oh, wait, she's 87 years old.
Well, I don't care, Bob. We only have
I
45
know,
minutes.
let's be kind to her. Right over
Come
here.
on, lady, step along.
Come on, Mother, right over here.
Hey,
And
Scott.
sit down, if you will. You are Miss Tabitha Worley, is that right?
Tabitha.
Tabitha Worley.
Yes, a lot of people make that mistake.
And where do you make your home, Miss Worley?
I live in Bondurant, Wyoming.
That's a wonderful country out there, I know.
Yes,
And you are 87 years young, is that right?
that's right.
And you were flown here by Bob and Ray. And do you have any idea why you're here in this studio today?
I don't have the remotest idea why I'm here.
Is there
Will you
anyone...
speak up, lady,
Well,
please?
she's speaking up, Ray. Don't...
Great Scott.
Do you have anybody that you would particularly like to see after, let's say a great number of years? Someone you used to know?
No, I don't suppose.
Anybody in your family, Miss Worley, that you particularly...
My family, let's see. No. No, it's been so long since I've seen any of them anyway. I don't suppose I'd know them if I fell over them anyway.
Do you remember your brother, Frank?
Sure.
How long is it since you saw him?
Oh, let's see. It must be, well, 70 years.
70 years. We thought it was only 66, but it's 70.
It's 70.
Well, we have a little surprise arranged for you, Miss Worley. We like to do this now and then with the excess cash that we have from our expense account. And I wonder if you'd open the door over there and bring in our next guest.
All right, come on, will you, pal? Step along.
Now, Mr. Frank Worley is facing his sister Tabitha for the first time in 66 years. Let's hear what they have to say.
Well, what you want me here for?
This is your sister Tabitha, Mr. Worley.
Oh, hello, Tabitha.
Hello, Frank.
All right, now will you go over and sit down in our studio audience, please? Knowing that we've made two people happier. Now they have
Why don't you sit together in the same row? They're not even sitting in the same row.
No, and you
Bob.
probably have a lot to talk over, don't you, Miss Worley?
Well, I suppose, but it's been so long.
Mr. Worley, you have anything to say to your sister?
No, you've changed.
Uh-huh. Well, I know that we've...
You mind
Maybe
if
you-
I sit in another row?
No, you can sit anywhere you want. It's
Where do you
okay.
live now, Tabitha? Bondurant, Wyoming.
And so, as they exchange anecdotes of days gone by...
Wait a minute, I better get out of here. I have an appointment. I have to have my teeth fixed. Would you mind if I run along?
No, you
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, and so we have rejoined the Whirleys, and we know that we've added a little bit of human kindness.
Is that
to
why you flew me here?
Yes, you can go back any time now.
Well, I might as well run along home now. There's probably a plane leaving. Bye.
Goodbye, Miss Whirley.